Hello everybody, it is I, Alex the Hunted, here in my lair, well not this lair for very long, giving you my opinion that is honest and fair and all that malarkey. And well, as you know, because MD Lady Insanity already done a video on it, we all got together and watched the VGX live stream awards. That's the quote, awards is the quote part there, because oh my god, that was just a disaster. And you know what the weird thing was? I think in the total of the entire award ceremony, and it was 3 hours long, there was about 6 awards given out. Like, actually in the awards show, and the rest of the awards were given away in the pre-show. What the... You had a 3 hour long show and you did 6 awards. 6! When I think they had something like 18 categories. And and honestly, watching the whole thing, 3 hours was far too long. These people halfway into this thing clearly seen they had ran out of things to say. They had no clue what they were talking about. I mean, the main host, I hear he's a comedian. Again, it's only in America, but yeah, apparently his character he plays on this comedy show is a very cynical character and like just complains a lot. He did that kind of thing throughout the entire awards ceremony. I think his name was Jeff, wasn't it? And all he did was make the same tired old jokes about video gamers just being basement dwelling nerds that never go outside and are all fat, obese and have never had sex. I don't think if you know about the gaming market anymore, but it's not that anymore. In fact, you did a video about gaming culture, about Donkey Kong. Yes, a game that's over 20 years old, but it's still showing that people who aren't everyone who is a gamer isn't the stereotypical gamer. There is a plastic surgeon who's a gamer. He is incredibly rich. He's not some basement dwelling nerd who's never gone outside and never had sex. It's astounding the level of that kind of joke has been old for about 3 years now. And yet this is honestly what they still think the gaming market is. And then it just went off and making loads of jokes about basically about women, you know, about saying how they have boobs. Fantastic! It's not like I haven't noticed that. But also apparently you haven't noticed that it's something like 45% of actual gamers now are female. It's nearly half and half. So really, I don't think most women would be appreciating of those kind of jokes. I'm not saying he was sexist or anything, but still you're kind of going, really? You're doing this? It's old. Move on. Do something else. And then you can actually see his co-host, the guy who actually organises this thing. I can't remember his name. He was the guy who did the infamously bad Halo 4 interview with the Doritos and Mountain Dew plastered everywhere. He was the other host. He so wanted to punch Jeff. You could see he was so angry. He wanted to deck that man such in the face because Jeff did not give a single shit about the VGAs. And he was just going to do, well, I'm being paid for this. I am going to make sure they never ask me back again. And by golly did he do that. And then, you're saying 6 awards, and then you filled it, and then you had some of the stuff with, stuff about the viral part, like people who were popular through gaming. Like Smosh. Smosh are gamers, apparently. I mean, yes, Smosh are popular, fine, you can get that on the scene. You got Rooster Teeth. They are actually genuine gamers. We know that. They are a huge gaming site. Then you got Mega 64. Again, okay, the skits they did. I would rather have Rooster Teeth or Mega 64 host the VGXs than anybody who was hosting the VGXs. Those two, because my God, It was an embarrassment! And then you get PewDiePie. Now I don't think if you know VGX people, PewDiePie isn't really popular with the main hardcore gaming scene. A lot of gamers like me, EMD, Scottish, Ability, Lady Insanity, even Rooster Teeth have come out and said they hate PewDiePie because he is not, and it is clear that he is not a real gamer. He's just doing it for the money. But I'm not going on that PewDiePie thing because, but no. And also, again, yes, they're people who are known for gaming. What's this got to do with a actual gaming awards ceremony? This is supposed to be like the big celebration of games, showing the best of the year. I mean, you don't see the Oscars going off and then going up to Paramount, and they're going to Paramount doing skits, and then they go off to Warner Brothers, and then they go off to Legendary, and then they go off to and you don't see that happening during the Oscars, do you? I mean, maybe you can do like you know. Really, what was the point of those sort of things? What did they were just skits. Fine, yes. The MTV Movie Awards do that. But guess what? Nobody takes the MTV Movie Awards seriously. And it's just baffling that they did not do any kind of research. And also, yes, it wasn't in front of a huge crowd of audience. You know, like the VGAs last year with, you know, just having screaming people all the time. But actually it kind of made it awkward because when the awards were announced, there was just this eerie silence. There was like, and the winner of Game of the Year was Grand Theft Auto 5. And then every now and then you just heard in the background, you just heard like... It was incredibly awkward. Like nobody, it actually felt like there was an entire audience there, but nobody was happy about that, and there was just... It felt like there was honestly no... It was incredibly awkward. Oh, bollocks, I've hit the charging cable. Whoops. But yeah, it felt incredibly awkward. It honestly felt incredibly awkward to just watch this this sort of thing going when they announced the awards, because honestly, it just felt like it was basically, you could hear the crickets when the awards were announced. It's like they said it was Game of the Year, Grand Theft Auto 5. And here to accept the award, the people who made Grand Theft Auto 5. It was very awkward. I mean, yes, you didn't want to make it you didn't want to spend a lot of money on the new VGXs and all that sort of stuff. Fine, fair enough, fine. And you didn't have to, and a good thing you didn't have to whore yourself out for advertising. Fine, fair enough. Too bad you had a stage of people outside for the GTA 5 soundtrack concert. You had a whole stage set up with people getting ready for the GTA 5 concert with some rap group, and I'll get to them. But you had your crowd, you didn't go to your crowd. All you had in your studio was this weird cog contraption and a car that doesn't really exist. I mean, it's a concept car, it doesn't really exist. I'm a car person. That's not the first thing I think of games, is cars. Usually it's like big epic grand sci-fi, shooting and explosion, and then cars. And also with the people, that the actual developers, that this is what people were wanting, was developers actually coming on to talk about gaming. Too bad that none of the people there honestly looked like they wanted to be there. Like Nintendo came along to do their big reveal. That Nintendo's big reveal was that Cranky Kong was in Donkey Kong Freezer thingy. Whoa! Everyone else has got huge games announcements, like Telltale are doing Game of Thrones and Borderlands. You've got this No Man's Sky, which looks so good. That was the highlight for me, was No Man's Sky. But listen, that amazing game. Then you got Witcher 3, and Nintendo come along with Cranky Kong for the Donkey Kong game. And here's a complete rip-off of is it Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales? Sorry, you know, honestly, look at it. I know it's like he uses a stick as a pogo stick, just like DuckTales. It honestly looked exactly the bloody same as well. It just shows how bad Nintendo have actually got it right now. Like how much they do not get it. They have no idea who their marketing is, how to reach the gaming players. Like I said, everyone else had like these big, like grand reveals, and Nintendo had a new playable character in a Donkey Kong game. It wasn't even Mario Kart or Super Smash Bros. And they spent so long talking about it. They spent about 20 minutes talking about the new playable character in Donkey Kong. A game that wasn't even a surprise. It wasn't a big reveal. This game we already knew was coming. We knew it was coming a long time. And all you did was you brought Reggie out to do a 15-minute interview about a new playable character. That's Nintendo's huge reveal. And it's the first VGAs they've ever done. Well, VGX, but you know. It's honestly staggering. And honestly, it was the game reveals that were the best part of the VGXs. But there was nothing really massively big to write home about. Yes, you got Telltale doing Game of Thrones and Borderlands. And actually, no, I tell a lie, No Man's Sky looks so fucking amazing. I mean, wow, God, that was a game I just saw. Take my money, take it now, take my house, take my life. You can haul me out for slavery if I just have that game. I want that game so much. But then there was no like real. But apart from that, there was no real like huge announcements. Like, yes, we got Witcher 3 trailer. We already knew, but again, we didn't really, you know, it's not like Witcher 3, that was like a huge announcement, it was just like a 30-second trailer. Then you had Titanfall, which again, Titanfall does look really, really good, but all they showed off was two new Titan mech things, and one of them looks suspiciously like the Atlas from Mass Effect, by the way. And yeah, exactly, it's fine, they're reveals, but it's actually, they were classing them as like world premieres, like, oh my god, world premieres. It's like, not really, no, there was no real big surprise there, and the real reason is just this was just probably so awkward, and it was just a disaster. And then to top it off, you have that rap group doing the GTA 5 thing, and I think they must have taken a shit ton of drugs before they came on this, because they had no fucking clue what they were doing. It was staggeringly bad every time it cut to them. It was like, oh, these people are doing a GTA 5 concert thing. It's like, alright, let's talk to them. And what they were doing, I have no idea what I was watching when they was onto them. Like, they had no idea what they were talking about. They were clearly either massive idiots, or they were so high that they didn't know what the difference between the sky and the floor. And then when it came to them actually doing the concert, yes, the concert was okay with the music, but again, you took 20 minutes doing a concert about the music about GTA 5, and you could have spent that time doing more about gaming culture, or doing more, you know, awards in your awards show. And it just amazes me how then they go, and actually it was like these, I think it was also because I was barely paying attention about 5 minutes into it as well, after that concert, where I was going on. Like, it kept on turning, like, these people, they were falling over each other, running into each other, they were forgetting the lyrics, they had no fucking clue what they were doing. It was an absolute train wreck. You were watching a train wreck going, oh God, the humanity! This is supposed to be the big celebration of games. This is supposed to be like the Oscars of the video game world, and it's just a fucking disaster. It's a shame. It honestly makes me ashamed of the video game industry, and it actually makes me ashamed, especially the people who actually put together this thing. Like, this is what they thought that video games represent. This is what we all think of video games. It was a 3-hour long show that started at 11 PM in the UK, I stayed up till 2 AM in the morning watching this with the others. I probably would have turned off after 10 minutes if I was watching this by myself, because this was an absolute... It was basically because of Scottish Warrior 92, Lady Insanity, Gamer MD 83 and Ability Drain. They were the reason I stayed. That was the only reason I stayed. There was nothing for me to stay apart from that, there was nothing in the award show that made me stay there. Nothing! It was an absolute disaster. It was an embarrassment. This isn't, it's not even, you can't even really call it an award show, because it wasn't. There was only 6 bloody awards in the actual award show. There was more awards given out in the pre-show that I missed, apparently, because we didn't know there was a pre-show. It's an absolute disaster. This is honestly not... We need an actual award show for video games. The closest one we have right now is the Gaming BAFTAs. And that's held in the UK. It's around about the first couple of months of the year. So it'll be around about in 2014. This is an actual award show. Yes, it doesn't have any big reveals or anything, because it's a kind of small award show. But it still has... I mean... It's an actual award show. There's no cutting away to some people who are popular on the internet right now. There's no people just doing, like, just spending 15 minutes talking about jokes. There's no stupid ass concerts by people so high they could probably fly up to the moon. It's hosted by a proper gamer, a comedian called Dara O'Brien. He's quite popular in the UK. I'm not sure if you know about him in America. He is very popular in the UK, and he's an actual legitimate gamer. He constantly talks about gaming. He is such a huge, massive fan of video games. He's done a whole... On his stand-up tour, he actually did a sketch about video games, which is really, really good, because it's from someone who actually knows what it's like to be a gamer, not someone who's read about gaming, who looks at some committee and says, what do people think of gaming? It's an actual award show, and I'm actually going to tell MD about this as well, and Lady Insanity, because they probably don't know about it, but they should know about this, because that's a proper award show. That's what they want for a gaming award. An actual gaming award show. Not this tripe of absolute... It wasn't... There was nothing really completely dead, awkward, humourless. Just absolute shit. Good lord, have you got... You rebranded the VGAs as the VGX because you wanted to make it an all thing about gaming awards. And you shot yourself repeatedly in the foot with this. You took a bazooka to your foot. It was an absolute disaster. Whew. And I am incredibly pissed off by this VGX as well. I'm Alex the Hunted, and God Almighty was the VGX need a... Well, the VGX were just shit.